What's up, peeps? We're back. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benz, and thank you so much for joining us on this week's YouTube edition of the AEW Insiders, Movies and More. I've got a lot of great movie reviews for you. I got two big trailers that dropped in the last couple of days. One is Star Wars, which is absolutely huge, their final trailer. I also have what's opening this week, a bunch of movie news, TV news, video game news, what have you. All right, so remember to check us out on all social media. It's the AEW Insider on all podcasting platforms and Facebook and YouTube, and the AEW Insider 1 on Twitter. All right, let's get to this week's Movies and More episode. All right, I watched a couple things this week for you guys. The first was Zombieland 2 Double Tap. Now, I was a fan of Zombieland 1. I didn't think it was going to be that great. I was very surprised. I was a huge fan of it, and I always wanted a sequel. It took them 10 years to make a sequel. So when it first got released, I was like, even though I've been waiting for it, it better be good. I won't lie, for the first set of trailers they put out, I didn't like it at all. I figured Zombieland 2 was going to be a huge stinking pile of piece of shit, to be honest. Well, I did watch it a few days ago, and I have to say that I really, really enjoyed it. I thought Zombieland 2 Double Tap was really good. It surprised me. It's a great sequel. It's nowhere near as good as the first one, of course. But if you're a fan of the first one, you will love it absolutely to death. They have a bunch of new characters in it, different situations. Everybody's a little bit older, what have you. It's really, really good. So like I said, if you're a fan of Zombieland 1, you'll fucking love it. But it's not going to be as good as the first, of course. So guys, there's so many people hating it because of that, which is ridiculous. But definitely check it out. I do give Zombieland if I don't know if I want to give it a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. I'll give Zombieland 2 a 7.5 out of 10 stars. Then I did watch the the fourth episode of the TV show Creep Show. It had two stories as always. The first story was called The Companion. What it was about a killer scarecrow. It's pretty much about this kid whose older brother or somebody kicks the shit out of him all the time. So he did something wrong. His brother's after him. It makes him go to this farm. And there's this killer fucking scarecrow there. So all this crazy shit happens. It was a decent story. Then the second story of episode 4 was called Lydia Lane's Better Half. So it started out that there was a woman, she was a boss, and she had a guy and girl in front of her. And one of them was up for a promotion. She gave it to the guy. The girl was upset. Kind of find that girl she didn't give the promotion to is her lover. A bunch of crazy shit happens. Not good things, of course, because it is Creep Show. And it's a fucked up episode. It's been done many times before that story, but this was set in a different way. So I do give Creep Show episode 4 a 7.5 out of 10 stars. It definitely wasn't as good as last week's. Last week's was great, but it was the second best one so far this season. Then I did watch the halfway mark, the season halfway, of American Horror Story 1984, episode 5, called Red Dawn. Now, this was great, man. This definitely opened up a lot. We all been wondering what the fuck's been going on. It's still unsaid, we don't know, but so much happened on this episode. It's pretty much almost a week now. It's on fucking tomorrow night or Thursday. I think tomorrow night anyway, so fuck the spoilers. But the camp went crazy, man. Everybody's killing everybody. People who wouldn't kill are killing people now. Fucking a lot of main characters got killed, what have you. It's fucking crazy, but the camp definitely is a ghost thing, like Murder House. If you die there, you stay there. So all those ghosts, like all the people you've seen get killed or who do get killed who were your favorite, are pretty much popping up. We didn't see everybody yet, but we still got 4 or 5 more episodes. So who knows what the fuck is going on, literally, and where this season's going to go after this. Like, it's fucking nuts. So definitely check out the halfway mark of American Horror Story 1984. I do give Red Dawn 8.5 out of 10 stars. And then I did watch the season premiere of HBO's television adaptation of The Watchmen. Now, I'm a huge Watchmen mark. Who watches The Watchmen, yada, yada. I fucking love The Watchmen. I think it's great. I love the comic book best. The movie was okay. It wasn't as great. It wasn't as good as it should have been, but it still did the fucking source material justice. And this show, I have to say, I didn't like it, which is fucking crazy. I've been waiting for this show forever. Any way I can get Watchmen, I want it, you know what I mean? But I was not impressed. I was fucking bored. It wasn't really that great. And for what I've seen online, a lot of people agreed. So I hope they pick it up. I hope they switch it up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But I do give the first episode of HBO Watchmen a 6 out of 10 stars. I was highly disappointed. All right, let's get to some movie trailers. Like I said, last night out of nowhere, nobody knew it was coming, blah, 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 boom. The final trailer for Star Wars Rise of the Skywalker dropped. It looks fucking amazing. They showed them going back to the second Death Stars. They made a Death Star and the new one's Death Star 2. They've got Kylo and fucking Ren. They got Kylo and fucking Rey fighting, and they're even teaming up. And it looks like they're destroying Darth Vader's helmet or teaming up against him. It's got Chewbacca in it. It's got Lando Calrissian. It's got the Millennium Falcon. It's got Luke Skywalker's voice as guidance for Rey. It looks amazing. I cannot fucking wait. And there's this one scene with Rey when they show her backing up. You can't see who the hell she's looking at, of course, but it looks like he's really tall or he's in some machine that has him up high. But just by the way he's breathing, I know it's Darth Vader. And they are talking about that Hayden Christensen might come back and play fucking Anakin Skywalker. So who knows? This is the longest Star Wars, excuse me, runtime ever. It's over 2.5 hours long, almost 3 hours. And right now, it sold more tickets than anything. Like Avengers came out this summer, it was the biggest thing. Right now, fucking Star Wars tickets haven't even been on sale for a data pre-sale, and it's already the highest grossing ever. So definitely check out the trailer for Rise of the Skywalker if you have not seen it. And then finally, they did release the trailer for Vin Diesel's movie, Bloodshot. Now, Bloodshot is awesome. I used to read the comic book. It's a graphic novel, and they brought it to the big screen. Bloodshot, the character, is a legit mixture of Wolverine and the Punisher. He has healing capabilities, so he can always heal, and he hunts people like he's a vigilante. The trailer does have the best scene in it, man. It shows Vin Diesel literally getting half of his face fucking blown off by a shotgun, and it looks so fucking legit. So check out the trailer for Bloodshot. All right, next peeps, I do have my recommendation of the week. Don't mind me. I do the wrestling show. I do this Movies and More show. And on this show, I have recommendation of the week. And on the wrestling show, I do a match of the week. Just sometimes it slips my mind. So my bad if I forget. My recommendation this week is Alpha Dog. It's a great movie. It's based on a true story. It's got a star-studded cast. It's got like Emile Hirsch in it, Olivia Munn, Oh man, it's got everybody. It's got Justin Timberlake. It's got Bruce Willis. It's got Sharon Stone. Plus, I can't believe his name slipped in my mind. The kid who got killed, the actor. He's a great actor. But Alpha Dog is amazing. It's a true story. It was like set in the 90s, I believe. And it's about these kids and they're drug dealers. And this kid's a pot dealer. This one kid he sells pot to doesn't pay him. So when the kid's out and about, he sees the guy who burnt him on his money, his younger brother, out on the streets. They legit take him in a van and they kidnap him. They just wanted to like hold him for ransom, scare the kid a little bit and get the money for the brother, but really not bring him any harm. So they kidnap this kid. The guy calls his dad's lawyer and all that. And the dude's saying, like, pretty much you could get life for that. Like, this is no fucking joke. So these kids are scrambling what to do, blah, 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 what have you. And come to find out, the kid gets fucking killed. And it's insane. And it's not that I'm spoiling the movie. The movie is years old and it's a true story. So you have to have heard about it. But the cast is fucking awesome. The acting is awesome and the story is great. It's one of my favorites. So if you haven't seen Alpha Dog or you haven't seen it in a while, definitely give it a watch. All right, on to some movie news. Marvel Cinematic Universe is in talks to make a Spiderman Multiverse movie. Now, you know how they made that cartoon like a year or two ago when it had like the different Spider-Mans for the different dimensions? They want to do that in a live action movie, and they want the current Spider-Man Tom involved in it. They want Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So for the current Spider-Man and the last two who played him before that, they want to get all together in one movie with the multiverse storyline so they can all be in one movie at once. If Marvel can pull this off, it is going to be fucking epic. Now, I thought part one was pretty good. I watched some of part two. A lot of people aren't that big of fans of it. But if you are, Ant-Man has got the green light for part three. So Ant-Man 3 will be coming soon enough. Warner Brothers is after Michael Keaton to reprise his role as the Caped Crusader in a Batman Beyond live-action film. If they can get Michael Keaton to come back and be Batman, that would kick ass. People who have gotten to see a preview of the next Terminator movie, Dark Fate, are saying it is awesome. They said it is the best Terminator movie since Terminator 2 Judgment Day. I can't tell you how I'm stoked for this one. I am, peeps. Aquaman and Game of Thrones star Jason Momoa wants to play Wolverine in Marvel Universe's reboot of the X-Men. Hey man, I can't hate. That would be pretty fucking awesome, but I think they can get a better actor for it. Better looking actor anyway, not better actor. Evil Dead's Bruce Campbell has revealed that Sam Raimi has picked a new director for a new Evil Dead film. Yes, Evil Dead fans. But he's also picking another person to play the role of Ash. So there's good news and bad news. So you got another Evil Dead movie, but they're replacing Ash in it. So who knows how that's going to turn out. Speaking of Sam Raimi, he is going back to his horror roots and making his first horror movie in over 10 years. The last horror movie he made was Drag Me to Hell. Not much is known about his new film, except that it's a mix of Misery and Castaway. So picture Stephen King's Misery with crazy Kathy Bates, but set on an island like Castaway. Sounds fucking awesome. 3 from Hell star Bill Moseley is going to portray a creepy killer cannibal clown in his next film. It's called Creptius. They are rebooting Interview with a Vampire. They're actually turning it into a TV show. They're trying to cast the vampire Lestat, which Tom Cruise made that role famous in the movie. Right now, the frontrunner and who they want is American Horror Stories' Cody Fern. He's the one who played the Antichrist last year. He's in this season's. Yeah, that'll be awesome. I'm telling you, the Interview with a Vampire is one of the best movies ever, man. For real, Lestat is amazing. So it'll be great to see with a TV show, because you can have that long running, have crazy stories, cameos. I'm excited for that one. There have been rumors for years that The Rock will play Shazam's nemesis, Black Adam. Well, it's finally confirmed, and it starts shooting July of 2020. So Black Adam gets his own movie, and then after that does good, you know, him and Shazam will be in one together. After great reviews for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino is seriously considering doing a horror film. Fans, and like myself, love the blood and gore in his movies, such as Django, Once Upon a Time, what have you, and they are clamoring for more of it. Let's hope Tarantino delivers on a horror flick. Well, Jamie Lee Curtis is done with her shooting for Halloween Kills, the sequel to 2018's Halloween. I don't get it, though. They only started shooting like a month and a week ago. If she's done shooting right now, that already tells me that, I mean, I want to know if the whole movie is done shooting. If the whole movie's done shooting, great. If just her scenes are wrapped up, which I believe it is, that makes me worried. Unless they shot everything she did at first and got it over with for scheduling, I don't know. If not, she really might die in this one. Everybody's saying she's supposed to die in the second one. And if she's done shooting within a month and a week, and usually it takes 3 months or more to shoot a movie, could be a red herring, people. Well, a red flag, not a red herring. I apologize. Jason Alexander has put his bid in to play the Penguin. Everybody knows Jonah Hill was either going to play the Penguin or the Riddler. He turned down the roles, and now Jason Alexander from Seinfeld wants to play the Penguin. Kevin Smith has confirmed that there will be a Mallrats 2. I already told you that we're doing Clerks 3, and now Mallrats 2 is on the way too. That's pretty awesome. And Norman Reedus, a.k.a. Daryl from The Walking Dead, is in talks to star in Part 3 of the Boondock Saints. Boondock Saints 1 kicks fucking ass. 2 was a letdown. Let's hope he signs off for this and they make a proper sequel. On to some TV news. John Cho, or Chow, a.k.a. Harold of Harold and Kumar, a.k.a. Sulu in the new Star Trek, was injured on the set. There's actually an anime cartoon and I believe a comic book called Cowboy Bebop, which is very popular. He's the main star in it. He got injured, and now production for Cowboy Bebop has been put on hold for anywhere from 7 to 9 months due to his injury. Cobra Kai star Nicole Brown, she plays Aisha on the show Cobra Kai, has been fired, which is real bad. Like, she's really sick, but she's always looking for angles outside of the show to make money, and they do let her go. They didn't say why. I think they just didn't like the way it looks like she's out there panhandling for money all the time, blah, blah, blah. But also season 3, a lot of it's going to be shot over in Japan, so they don't need her. but they didn't fire the rest of the cast because they're not going to use them to shoot in Japan, you know what I mean? So something's up with that, but best of luck, gal. And finally, Ted Bundy's girlfriend is breaking her silence after all these years, and she is doing a documentary of her story for Amazon. Video game news. The setting for Grand Theft Auto 6 might have been leaked. I have been praying to go back to this location for years, or one like it. That is right, peeps. Vice fucking City. To this day, Grand Theft Auto Vice City's music, story, the look, the vibe, everything is my favorite hands down. According to a location scout's paperwork, for months now, she's been taking a video game studio, a big video game studio, all around Florida, all the beaches, all the locations, doing scouting for it. And they're pretty much all saying it's Rockstar for Grand Theft Auto. So let's pray that Grand Theft Auto 6 goes back to Vice City or a beach setting like that. That fucking soundtrack for that game is amazing. All right, and just to throw it out there real quick, Stephen King is turning his main home into a museum and a writer's retreat. So his old house, it's literally going to be a museum about all his shit. And then also, if you're a writer, it can actually hold up to 5 writers at a time where they can stay and actually write their novels. That's very cool. All right, opening this week, there's a bunch of movies, but none of them are really name-worthy. The first is Black and Blue. I just seen this trailer a lot. That's the only reason why I'm mentioning it. But it's a cop story. She's a cop. The force turns on her. Shady shit's going on. They try to kill her. It's a black film. It looks like all black actors, what have you. So they'll do pretty good. And then also Countdown. Countdown's the one I told you about the trailer a couple weeks ago, a couple shows ago. It's about an app. The teenagers download this app, and the app tells you when it's going to die. And it's great when it says, hey, you got 67 years to live, or you're going to die when you're 82. But it's not so great when it says you have 12 hours to live, or fucking 2.5 days. And when the countdown hits your fucking, that app, you're fucking done. People delete the app, what have you. They buy a new phone. The app's already installed on it, counting down. So it looks pretty all right. All right, this weekend's box office, and we'll wrap up the show. Maleficent 2 took the #1 spot. It actually took Joker out of #1. Even though it took #1, ticket sales weren't that great. Like, for how much it costs or what it's supposed to make, it's actually not doing that great. But it was #1, so you got to give it its props. Joker was #2. Zombieland Double Tap debuted at #3. Addams Family stayed in the top 5 at #4. And Gemini Man, in its second week, dropped to #5 already. According to the stats, if it keeps going this way, it's going to be a $75 million loss for the movie company, which sucks. Will Smith can't catch a break. Like I said, I still have to find time to watch this because it looks pretty good to me. All right, peeps, that's it for this week's for AEW's Movies and More YouTube edition. I will be back this week with a wrestling podcast. I will have a wrestling video, a new movie video next week, blah, 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 what have you. If you see, I've been putting up tons of content on the podcast and especially on the YouTube channel. We legit hit 50 videos, so please show it some love. Show our podcast some love. We're on all major podcasting sites like Apple, Google, Spotify, Anchor, what have you. On Facebook and YouTube, we're the AEW Insider, and on Twitter, we're the AEW Insider 1. So remember to check us out, peeps. All right, I'll be back this week with a lot more wrestling and movie news. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benz, and thank you so much for joining us on the AEW Insider, Movies and More. Ciao, peeps.